Aside from the Bible, this is the most transformative piece of literature I've ever laid my eyes on, and it is none other than the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. For those of you who don't know, Grant Cardone is a real estate mogul who holds over $1 billion worth of real estate, and he funds most of his deals through crowdfunding, leveraging his social media. And the three main takeaways that I learned in his book changed the way that I approach everything. So the three main pillars of the 10X Rule is to put forth 10 times the amount of output that everybody else in your industry is putting forth, setting targets that are 10 times as high as what you think you can achieve, and understanding that in order to get to the next level, you must think and act completely differently than how you've thought and act before. An important part of setting these targets is that when you limit the amount of success that you think you can achieve, you limit the amount of output that you put forth to achieve that success. And by limiting what you think you can achieve, you limit what you actually achieve. So he puts together a series of 4 mistakes that people who are setting out to achieve goals typically make. And number 1 is mistargeting, which is what we talked about earlier, setting objectives that are too low and limit your output. Second is severely underestimating what it takes in terms of action, resources, energy, etc. And number 3 is spending too much time competing and not enough time dominating your actual sector with output. And the fourth one, and the most common, is underestimating the amount of adversity that it's going to take to overcome in order to achieve anything that you are looking to achieve. As we all know, the higher the goal, the more adversity. And most people simply cannot prepare for that. Another important thing to come to the realization of is that success is your duty. You owe it to the people around you. You owe it to the people who put time and energy into your upbringing. You owe it to them to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And that comes with extreme output, extreme goals, and extreme results. Before we go out to 10x our results, you have to understand the 4 degrees of action. 1 is doing nothing, 2 is retreating, 3 is taking normal levels of action, and 4 is taking massive action. Now, doing nothing means exactly what it sounds like. It means people who see their goals and do nothing to get there. Then retreating is taking action in reverse. Retreating is stepping back from your goals to avoid the potential of failure or the potential of humiliation or the potential of things not going the way that you want. Number 3 is taking normal levels of action, which will get you further than the other 2, but still cannot get you to the highest level. Number 4 is taking massive action, where everything that you do is taking you a step towards your goal, not a step away from your goal. You're at that point saying no to everything that does not get you closer to where you want to be. You know you're starting to step into massive action when you start receiving criticism and warnings from others. That is exactly how you know you're on the right track, because other people simply are not out for the things that you are out for. And if they see something wrong in what you're doing, it's likely because you're doing something right. Now, once you've reached stage 4, it's very important. You are now all in. You are obsessed. I'm going to read to you part of a page that he wrote. Would human beings have made it into space if a team of people hadn't been obsessed with making it happen? Can a country become great without its leaders being obsessed with greatness? Would any remarkable leader water down his or her dreams and encourage the team to adopt a take it or leave it attitude? Of course not. Now, the final step to putting the 10x rule into action is going all in. Now, we've heard this. We know, if any of us play poker, we know putting all of your chips at risk, gambling everything that you have and setting it on this goal. The most valuable chips that you have are your mindset, your action, your persistence, and your creativity. And the beauty about that is once you go all in with those, you can keep going all in over and over and over again. And if you've made it this far in the progress, the next step is to continue that persistence and continue that action, that massive output, by having a can-do attitude, having a belief that you're going to figure it out, and having a laser focus on opportunities that come your way. So if you made it this far, up until this point, you have massively expanded the limits that you thought you had. And that is exactly what we want to do. When we have big goals, Alex Hormozi always says, extreme goals require extreme beliefs and extreme actions. And that is very similar to what Grant Cardone is alluding to here. So you need to define your goal. You need to define the actions that are going to get you there. And you have to take massive action day in and day out. I know that you can do it. That's why I shared it with you. If you like this type of content, subscribe for more.